Peace and prosperity. This is the Saya Mystic coming to you with another message to help you free your heart and soul. Right now, I am beginning my first video of a video series that I'm going to do, and it is going to be about the esoterics of each zodiac sign. So, exoteric and exoteric, okay? I personally am an esoteric astrologer. I'm personally an esoteric astrologer. And what that means is I work with understanding astrology on a soul level versus exoteric astrology focuses on understanding astrology on a personality level, right? And so the difference between the two mainly is that exoteric astrology just focuses on the personality, the day-to-day life, the horoscopes, the surface level understanding of astrology, whereas esoteric astrology honors the soul and honors the truth of us being souls who incarnated into this experience, into this reality. And it also honors the realities of life and also honors the history of time and what's played out and how everything is synced to a much higher level of life. So esoteric astrology is my focus, and I thought that it would be super powerful to bring to you guys a spin on, the signs in this esoteric way, because a lot of people don't know that the esoteric version of a sign is a lot different than the exoteric version of a sign, which is what most people are being educated on and what people know about. So let's get started. The first sign that I'm going to talk about, of course, is going to be Aries, because we have just come into Aries season. We have just begun into this spring energy. We're springing forward, and Aries is the sign of the ram. And as most people know, Aries is ruled by Mars, right? Well, in esoteric astrology, this is a little bit different. Why? Because esoteric astrology deals with the integration of the personality with the soul. A lot of people are not living as their soul. A lot of people are living as their personality, right? Which is represented as the sun sign. However, your soul and your personality are two different beings. And what esoteric astrology aims to achieve is to bring the personality and the soul into union, so that the personality is honoring the truth of the soul and vice versa. Whereas the personality, people can be fake, people can be pretend, people can be this person, but really their soul is yearning and longing and striving for something that can be completely outside of their awareness when they never take the time to integrate these two beings together, or even take the time to free a soul, their own soul, which may be trapped. So Aries, when we're talking about Aries and its planetary ruler, the esoteric ruler of Aries is not the fiery martial artist Mars, okay? The esoteric ruler of Aries is Mercury. It is Mercury because Aries in his or her lower self is fiery, impulsive, tunnel vision, go-getter, a lot of energy, right? Maybe even impatient, intolerant, head first, headstrong, and takes action without thinking things through, gets angry without having really any rationale or sense behind the anger. It's just a pure childish kind of anger, childlike kind of anger. This is the lower exoteric aspect of Aries. And when Aries begins to move into his or her higher self, this is where Mercury comes in. So this is really powerful for you to understand. And for a lot of Aries that I have seen in my own life, when they are in and tapped into their higher self, they are very mercurial. So what does this mean? Mercury is the planet of communication, thought processes, your mental sphere. And when your higher self, when Aries is in his or her higher self, as far as its mentality, I have seen Aries go from this impulsive ram that runs off of a cliff before everyone else, right, turn into this calculative, pensive, person that actually thinks about what they're doing and how it plays into basically the chess game. All right, because in war, the strongest person doesn't win. All right, it's the smartest person, the person who has the most wit, the person who uses their mind as a muscle and strengthens that muscle. This is the person that is ultimately always going to win. So Mercury is really the higher self, or the esoteric ruler of Aries. And when Aries taps into Mercury, it's literally like game over. Aries is no longer childish. The childish ways kind of deplete, and he becomes really intelligent. It's really amazing when I see Aries mature, or people with sun sign in Aries begin to really evolve and mature. I always sense this mercurial energy where they're super, that like they catch on really quick. And not only that, but their curiosity actually, it's not just for this excitement, but it's for this bigger purpose. It's for like this grand plan or this grand scheme that they have, that they're looking forward to playing out and winning. Like, it's like they literally create their own game, whatever it is that you're trying to win. And Mercury, when they're tapped into Mercury, it's like they're picking up and they're cueing in on all the messages that is coming through from God, from the universe, from the angels. They definitely start to also channel most of the times without even realizing it. I've had moments where I'm like around Aries and they mention something that I was thinking about, and they didn't even realize that, I didn't say it out loud. Or, for example, I was like, with my yoga teacher at one point, yoga and herbalist teacher at one point when I lived in New Orleans. And we were just sitting down after, I was working. We were working together at one point. I was his assistant. And, he's definitely an elder Aries, actually, in his 70s. And I was just sitting there, like, thinking to myself how bad I had to go to the bathroom. And he came into the room like, "Didn't you say you had to use the bathroom?" And I was like, "No, I didn't say that, but I was definitely thinking it. But thanks for reminding me." So it can be little things like that, or it can be big things like being able to pick up on what people are saying without them actually having to directly say it. Aries in his higher self will be really, really good at that. Like, they can just listen to people talk, and then they already know where that person's frequency is, or where that person is at spiritually. They can just listen to you talk, watch your verbal cues, listen for your verbal cues, watch what your kind of mannerisms, that mercurial communicating energy where you're having this intellectual play with life, with the universe, they'll be able to pick up on that, and they can just sense, you know, if you are somebody that can join them on their path or on their journey to the gold at the end of the rainbow. Right? So Aries in his higher self, hi beautiful, Aries in his higher self is definitely going to have a pot at the end of the rainbow. Okay, like they have a eternal place that they know that they want to get to, whereas Aries in the exoteric energy, or in his lower self, isn't really gonna have that aspiration for this grand place to get to or to live in. They're just kind of going to live impulsively, and this consistent living on impulse normally is what gets them falling off of a cliff. So this is why Aries and Aries energy in general is the energy that can either literally save your life or have you gone quicker than you were supposed to go. So with my south node being in Aries, because I have a south node in Aries, I'm definitely familiar, you know, with how the Aries energy works and how it feels, and just being in that energy. So I'm really familiar with Aries energy, and most Aries that I meet, I click with almost immediately, because I can relate to being very comfortable with myself and not afraid to just sit and have long conversations with myself, by myself, just being with myself, you know. And that's another thing about Aries in its higher self. It doesn't have a problem with being by themselves, but also doesn't have a problem with communicating effectively with other people. So the exoteric energy of Aries, being the Mars ruler, can have Aries dipping and dabbling into their lower self when in relationship with other people and around other people. For example, like they could just be out somewhere, and you know, they won't really understand where people are coming from. It can be something that's like super innocent, or something that, you know, it's just a part of that person's personality, and the exoteric lower self version of Aries will be rash and kind of edgy about these qualities this person is coming off with, versus seeing those qualities and being able to sense the superpower of that person versus the annoyance. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, the lower self of Aries is gonna see people's annoyances, and they're gonna be like, I literally can't stand people. Like, people are just so annoying. Like, why are you making these decisions? Why are you doing this? Why are you acting like this? Why are you presenting yourself this way? That's dumb. Like, why would you do that? You know, because Aries also is you know, ruler of the first house, so they're gonna have a lot of feelings around how you present yourself, whether that it's who you are or who it's not who you are. Like, you have to present yourself correctly when you're around an Aries, like, and that is how you dress, that is how you look, you know. Like, this is Aries in his it's Aries. So this aspect of Aries isn't like a lower or higher self. This is just really the evolved and maturing Aries aspect, right? Whereas like the lower energy of Aries will probably not really care a lot about how they look. They won't really put much thought into it. And this is also like the balance that Aries has to achieve with their opposite sign Libra, and understanding that, you know, being balanced and looking beautiful is how they can stay balanced with other people and involving themselves with other people. But going back to what I was saying, how Aries can be really like judgmental, or just really just, I want to say intolerant. Like, it's like they have an intolerance about facets of people that they don't like, you know, and they can be rather mean or harsh when expressing their distaste. And so the higher self of Aries isn't even gonna, maybe they might sense it, but it's not gonna bother them, or it's not gonna put them in a place of annoyance. Rather, it will encourage, actually it will stimulate more desires in them. It'll stimulate a vision in them. That's what I want to say. It'll stimulate a vision in them that will get them seeing life in a bigger and better way. So these things end up turning, for like, they go from being annoying to being like amusing, or just something that will fuel more fire inside of them. So this is basically the gist of Aries in its esoteric higher self energy, and probably we'll get into the first house and cardinal fire. So I'll get into the first house and the cardinal fire more, possibly in another video. So yeah, if you like this video, you got some value from it, make sure you like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell, and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.